Hey everyone, how's it going? Get me out here. After about a month of the Saviors of Uldum expansion and about 3 weeks of Legend gameplay, I feel like I finally have a good enough grasp about the WoW meta to make a video like this. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you guys about what I believe are the top 5 decks in the Saviors of Uldum meta. So this is not a meta snapshot, so I'm not going to give you guys like 25 decks and argue with you guys for hours about the placements of your favorite deck. I'm just going to give you what my top 5 are based upon my opinion of a couple hundred games of Legend gameplay playing against and with these decks. Alright, so these aren't backed up by any stats, these are just my opinion. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So first up, we have our good old pal Secret Mage. If you've played any games in the format, I think we can't argue that this deck is pretty damn strong. I never thought I would see the day that aggro mages cut frostbolts from their deck. So what I have here on the screen is what I believe is the most optimal version of Secret Mage. Flak Mage, while good, I think is still a tech choice and not a core card. So if you're not running into any aggro for whatever reason, feel free to cut this card. I'm still a personal fan of one Ice Block to give you that one extra turn to find the burn that you're shuffling into your deck. But it's not required, again, by any stretch of the imagination. Please don't run anti-secret cards in your own Secret Mage, right? You might be having a little bit of confirmation bias that the one time that it works in the mirror, that you're either secreting like 3 secrets, it's amazing and it's going to win you so many games and it's the best card in the deck, right? But you're probably glossing over the many times and the many games that secret tech cards are losing you games because it's just not a good card in that matchup and they're not good cards on their own. So you all know the power of this deck, so I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Next up, we have our good old friends Even Shaman and Odd Rogue. Both of these decks are severely underplayed in the current metagame, and I can't tell why for the life of me. Secret Mage shored up a weakness to board-centric aggro decks with Flame Ward and Flak Mage, but Even Shaman and Odd Rogue are aggressive decks that have the ability to go tall as well as wide to help play around these specific cards and prevent Secret Mage from doing its degenerate thing by getting the chip damage in with the minions. So Odd Rogue has Hench Clantha, Quarter Creeper, Fungalmancers, and Lothabs, while Even Shaman has the myriad of big 4-drops and Think From Below and Sea Giants. So both of these decks did get slight upgrades as well from Saviors of Uldum, with Pharaoh Cat being added to Odd Rogue, and Totemic Surge and Facina being added to Even Shaman. Both of these decks are good. You guys should play them. I know they're boring, but if you do want to win in the current metagame, these are 2 decks that you can definitely turn to. For the last 2 decks in my top 5, we have some quote-unquote newcomers to the top tier discussion. So first up, we have Snip Warlock. So this is not new, of course. This card came out with the Boomsday kind of set of buffs a couple months ago. And this is a deck that utilizes the infinite magnetic echo mechanic from Summoning Portal, Mech Warper, and Snip to either OTK somebody or create basically an unclearable board that is able to OTK the turn after. So the Snip Warlock package is one that's a pretty small core, right? Technically, you really only need Summoning Portals, Mech Warpers, and Snip Snaps. So we're actually seeing a lot of people shift around in the packages that they're playing around this OTK deck. So what I'm going to do is show you guys 3 different versions. So first up, we have Emrig Dinomancer Snip Warlock. So this is the version that I'm running because it's more fun. It's probably not as good as the other 2 that I'm going to show you, but this kind of gives you 2 sets of OTK. You have the Snip OTK, and then you have the ability to create infinite Dinomancers with the Expired Merchant Cruel Dinomancer Umbra package. So then we have a pure cycle mech Sniplock. This has been kind of the standard for the deck in the past. You run a bunch of mechs that always are threatening an OTK while running a ton of card draw. So this is, and running Glinda, it's kind of this alternate win condition with Glinda, Mech Warpers, and Magnetic Minions. And then we have a new version that's kind of popped up recently with Goku's Mechathene Snip Warlock, where you still have all the super hard cycle cards, and you have your Sniplock package, but then you also run a Mechathene win condition. And the Mechathene win condition is actually super small as well. Right, so you no longer have to run the Mechathene Blood Bloom Cataclysm. You're already naturally running Galvanizers into the deck, and so all you're going to do is you're going to Galvanizer the Mechathene once so that the Mechathene goes down to 9. Once you've cycled through your entire deck and gotten rid of all your cards in your hand. Then you hit them with the Mechathune and then Plague of Flames to clear your board, kill your Mechathune, and you have no cards in hand, so you win the game. So these are multiple versions, and the fact that there are multiple versions shows that the deck is still in its infancy phase and has plenty of room to be refined, but I think there's no doubt that this deck is very good. And last but certainly not least, we have Mech Handbuff Pally. This is a deck that has risen in popularity in the past few months, especially with the buff to Crystology. With how good this deck feels against aggro, right? The inclusion of the Micro Mummy, and the lack of even Shaman in the meta, this deck actually feels like a legitimate threat to be reckoned with in the wild meta. You play a little bit slow in the early game because you draw a bunch of cards and then you set up your hand buffs, but then you get some explosive turns because you're able to get immediate value with your hand buffs due to the magnetic effect, which was kind of the downside to hand buffs, right? You spend all this time buffing your cards in your hand, and then you had to play them, and then people could just ignore them, right? You get immediate impact from your hand buffs with the magnetic synergies, and this has turned into a really crazy cool, really crazy good wild specific deck that should be played and explored a hell of a lot more than it already is. So what I have on the screen is my version. I love running Loatheb in pretty much every board-based aggro deck, so of course, yeah, you gotta run your boy Loatheb, but then pretty much everything else in the deck is a mech, hand buffs, draws you cards, just generally helps hit your opponent in the face. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the quick rundown on my top 5 decks of the Saviors of Uldum Meta. These are just my opinions, so feel free to disagree in the comments below. If you're looking for fun decks to try out for the beginning of the month climb, I highly recommend you checking out the 36 decks in under 15 minutes video that will be linked on my end screen or through my profile. And if you guys enjoy this content, please leave an upvote and subscribe so that you guys know when more videos go up. Make sure you also feel free to drop a follow on Twitch as well, because I stream there 5 days a week with some pretty awesome wild content, if I say so myself. But again, I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you later.